Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on March 2nd, 2024. I am Chris Accords.
And I'm Hifrog.
As always, a pleasure to see you and everyone else.
Yeah, you too. It's
Um,
been 2 weeks.
it has been 2 weeks. It always feels like a long 2 weeks. Especially when there's so much going on in the world of pony cards. I realized after we had kind of settled on this topic that there are also the um, main spoilers for the next set that we can have a stream about too.
Yeah, there's no content drought this month.
That is for sure. Although it's possible, we did kind of mention them already in that anniversary stream, and maybe there'll be some more that'll come out by the time of BabsCon or something. So maybe we'll rest on those a little bit. Oh, we'll see when it
Yeah,
comes
we'll
time
see.
for
Yeah.
next stream.
Also, yeah, BabsCon is in a month.
It is
Less than a month.
less than a month. Yes, March.
March, like it's the literal
It's
end of March.
yeah. It would be the 30th, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's 30th.
The 30th is the yeah.
And 31st.
I always forget that March is a long month. I don't know why. I always.
They alternate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know.
Except in cases when they don't alternate.
Yeah.
But yeah, January is a long one. February is a short one. And March is a long one again.
Anyway, the big news, I guess, from these past 2 weeks, or whenever it actually happened, was that after the conclusion of the Coco tournament, the third prize wheel supplement is now fully live and finished.
Yeah.
And we talked about all these cards when they were first revealed for the first time. There's been a couple of modifications, I think, to some of them, and a new one created at Vanhoover. So we need to have a proper review.
Yeah.
As usual, this is going to be our. I probably should have put a slide in here reminding people of our scale. But yeah, meta impact. How much these cards are going to get played for the current core, which we'll see how long that sticks with us. But the current core with defenders and such in it. Yes, where one is never seeing play, two is every so often, but not like what experimentation I think is a word that's usually used.
Yes.
Three is kind of frequent, but not all over the place. Kind of like important tech cards and such.
Or sideboard, yeah.
Or sideboard. Yeah, four is commonly used in the top decks, and five is the forever nebulous meta-defining one.
I think there's one card like that. At least one card.
I think. Let me look at my ratings. I know I have one card in here that's a 5. Yes.
Yeah, I have one card in there that's a 5 as well.
Okay. No, I have two.
And
I have 2 5s.
is the second one the Trixie card? Because it has to be the Trixie card.
So I think it's entirely possible the Trixie card could be a 5, but I haven't put it a 5.
By definition. Anyway,
yeah. We will get to it then. Windows does not dock that window. Unless you have anything you want to say before we go to it.
nope.
Okay, we have 12 cards, or is it 13 cards? I think it's 12 cards.
There's 12 cards, yes.
Yes. So we begin with Rainbow Dash, reading Rainbow. Cost 3, requirement 2, power blue, Meticulous 1, and when you put a card on the bottom of your deck, you pay 1 less to play your next card this turn to a minimum of 1. So, when I kind of evaluated this, it struck me, I guess, and I don't know if I mentioned this the first time that I had previewed this card, but like, if you want to use this just as a cost reduction, you can. Just, oh, Meticulous. Oh, just put that on the bottom of my deck. Always on the bottom of the deck because all I care about is the cost reduction. Like you can just use this as a cloud chaser that doesn't exhaust if you want to. Well, except for the minimum of 1 thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. Just baseline in like a blue aggro deck. Even baseline in blue farm too, because that cost reduction can apply in your troublemaker phase. And blue farm does play a fair number of relatively expensive stuff actually in the troublemaker phase. Between
Yeah,
your
that's fair.
bullet and dash, or if you want to play Prince Rutherford or that kind of stuff. So I think this card is like really baseline, really good. It seems unlikely that it would not see play. I have it as a 3.
I have it as a free as well. It is an AT generator that sometimes doesn't generate AT if you really want the card on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's something that will change the blue forever, you know.
Yeah. Now
I think free is a fair.
Yeah, the potential synergies, I guess, with purple being able to put many cards on the bottom of your deck.
Yeah.
That is legitimate as well.
If only it didn't say to a minimum of 1.
Only it didn't say to a minimum of 1. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have other Meticulouses from purple or other means of putting stuff on the bottom of your deck. But like purple doesn't have a lot of that nowadays.
Yeah, it's
Like the
true.
only good Meticulous 2 card that comes to mind is Sunset, right? I think Doctor Hooves is okay. Like there are a couple, but I don't think there's enough Meticulous. But I've said that before. Yeah, Balloon is a good point as well.
Google points out Twine Flutters. They're Meticulous too, as well, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're okay. They yellow purple, but yeah.
Yeah, they're not blue, which is why I did not consider them. But yeah, Balloon is a good point. You can like with Balloon, this basically turns into the DJ Pawn friend from Sequestria. Where if you move a friend, your next friend, I think, cost like is reduced by 1 as well.
Right.
And to be fair, that card never saw play.
To be fair, that card never saw play. Yeah, yeah, legitimate.
But I mean, this is more versatile. Like with Balloon, you get that as an extra.
Yeah, like that card was also like in pink, which is less the color that wanted that.
Yeah, doesn't really move that off. Like in moving is hard, but this is kind of like this card is kind of automatic.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
I never actually confirmed the proper pronunciation. Is it Bufagrin or Buffagrin?
With English, you never know.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Bufagrin.
Sure.
High impact halitosis. Cost 2, 2 power, 1 requirement. Card enters play. Each player discards a card. The player discards a card for the first time each turn. That player puts the top 2 cards of their deck into their discard pile. Really hard for me to evaluate this because I have to keep remembering that mill's not really a thing in core right now. Always like, oh, but mill's awesome. Well, only in Adventure and Harmony.
Yeah.
But it's probably fairly close in core. Like, if there's anything that the last prize wheel taught us, it's that Roctorate suddenly means you have to actually really think about mill sometimes. Like anything that enables it could actually be worth thinking about.
That is true. But it also doesn't have some of those really good songs, especially the songs that force your opponent to discard cards from their hand, which is what this card synergizes with. And it's also limited to once per turn. And mill likes to mill a bunch of cards at once, at least in my experience.
Yep.
So I put this card at 2.
2.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's the breaking point of mill in core.
Fair enough. I put it at a 3. Since it is a important 1 requirement slot. Like it's moderately good. I think it's a here maybe 2's right. Like it's a fine card to put in most orange decks. It does allow you to self-discard, which does have its place in Reanimator.
I think that's a bit stretching it. I don't think this card is. I mean, maybe, but like, just run Clutch down, right? There's no reason to run this card with this card.
Fair, I guess.
In Reanimator. Like, so this card feels like single purpose, right? Because you mentioned Reanimator, but I think there's just better tools out there. And the single purpose is the mill. So the rating of the card is like the rating of the mill. And even if mill was much, much better in core, I think even this card might not even make the cut, you know. If mill was better and it had better cards like an adventure it does. Like, do you think this card is ran in adventure mill?
No.
I am, yeah.
No.
So that's my point here. Like, even for mill, it's kind of average. So that's why it's a 2.
Yeah. I think you're right. That's a bit of a shame. You don't usually have
cool stuff in harmony with Orange Luna.
I forget
Is it because of the discard? That's the one that splits the hand in half.
Orange Luna requires
you to discard and pay 1.
Yeah. And so this is a way to, if you're going second, you can do it turn 1.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Cherry Berry. Get me a new one. 2 cost, 2 pink. Requirement and power. Agile. Traveler, which is the tweak this card got. Extra Traveler. I'm pretty sure the first one we looked at didn't have that. And when this card's problem is replaced, score a point. So, this is my first 5.
Oh, this is a 5. Wow, I do not. I don't.
You don't. Okay. Are you at least 4?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3.
A 3. So it's basically based on the idea that I know Cadence Blue is already really good. Like it's not top yet, but give it some point acceleration. Which, I mean, it's not like it didn't have point acceleration to start with already. It was mostly just going on face-offs and stuff. I think I think it'll really help. Help it compete with Thorax to be best aggro.
That is a good point. But like, it's not Swift.
It's not so like even like the agile bit. Like I don't really care, right? Yes, the agile doesn't matter. This is a like even in the spot where this is just a 2-cost friend, which is great for Cadence in pink, and scores you a point, right? If you get
Yeah,
if you get 2 points off of it, oh, that's amazing, even better, right? But even just 1 point is still pretty good.
maybe.
At least bring it up to a 4. Like Cadence runs this, and it is a good deck.
Yeah, sure. It's not a 5, but sure, I'll bring it up to 4.
That's fair.
But again, my 5s are very
No, yeah, I
hard
understand
to
that.
earn.
Only Trixie gets 5s.
No, that's not true. I've gave 5 to other cards before.
All right. Trenderhoof. 2 cost, 3 requirement, 2 white. All requirements white too. Players can't play friends with the same name as another one of their friends in play, and at main phase speed, exhaust this card and pay 1 to choose a friend, and banish each other friend with the same name as the chosen friend. So this is even better than making everything unique, because you just, if things are unique, you can still play the other thing and just banish the other one or retire the other one. So this is can't even play it. And you have the removal of duplicates as well. Problem is, it's a white card, and white cards are so hard. White cards are so hard to rank.
That was my thought as well. So my thought process was this is really good against tokens in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Thorax has a bunch of critters. Snap the fingers, all of them are disappear. All of them disappear. Except one.
All of them except one, yes.
But at the same time, like, this is not what helps white get back on its feet, right? This is a nice tool against certain decks. Like, it's a good sideboard card, but it's in the color that nobody plays at the moment.
I wouldn't say that nobody plays it.
Sure.
White,
But, like, you get what I mean.
yeah. White decks are like on the periphery. They Instagram, I think he's been working. Well, he loves to work with white, with Chrysalis and such. Like, I don't think white is necessarily like on the cusp of being good with a little bit of help, but like we shouldn't necessarily dismiss it completely.
I'm not dismissing it completely. I gave this card a 2 even. Like, it's not a 1. But this is not the card that's, like, makes white good, you know? This is just another tool that white has.
Okay.
That's my reasoning.
Okay. I gave it a 3 because it is so good, not just against Thorax, but also Cadence. Cadence is actually really going to care about that first ability, because she wants to play friends.
Yeah, but Cadence can also remove it.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
It is very impactful against Cadence. Yeah, until she uses all of her removal.
Okay. All right. I think you're okay on the
I think
2
2
then.
is fair for this card.
No
Right,
problem with
next card.
white friends.
Not Eternal, maybe. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
It was yellow for a long time.
It was yellow for a long time. I mean, yeah, rotation will do all kinds of things. Who knows? All right. Dodgy Shopkeeper. Hero Collector. Cost 1, 2, power. At immediate speed, if you have played cards at least 4 different card types this turn. Banish this card to gain 4 AT, draw 4 cards, and put a +1 power counter on each of up to 4 of your characters. Excuse me. We had a lot of conversation about this in our first preview, I think, right?
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Um,
But if you do,
the ceiling of this card is incredible, especially if you draw it on the same turn that you've already activated another one.
yeah.
And even the floor of this card is actually not bad as a colorless mind, but still 2 power 1 cost. That is not terrible at all.
Guess not.
So I have it here as a 4.
Oh. I don't think so. Okay. What kind of deck plays this card?
I don't know yet, but something
Oh,
will.
okay. Something. Okay,
Something
so
will. I'm
yes, I have it
sure.
as a 1.
Interesting. I'm sure that there are people in the chat right now who have plenty of ideas about what to do with this card. Like the ceiling is so high, someone is going to figure out a way to do it, and that deck's going to be good.
It's so specific. And yeah, if you play multiple of them, that's amazing. But also you need to get multiple of them.
You're drawing 4 cards. You have a
Sure.
reasonable chance of drawing into it.
I don't know about reasonable.
Never
I
mind
don't
that
think
you're
it'll...
also gaining 4 AT. So you can just spend some of that AT to draw a few
Okay.
more.
Okay, if you're spending that AT to draw more cards, you're
Then the second one is not nearly as amazing. But if you paid 2 for it or even 3 for it, you're still coming out ahead.
Trenderhoof has a home and you gave him a free. I did not give Trenderhoof a free.
No, he was complaining about me in that comment.
Oh, okay. It requires you to already play free cards, right? Because it counts itself as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be different type. It's a very specific condition, and then maybe you can chain them together, and then maybe it will be good. It's so specific. It's it's not a card that you just put into your deck and it's good, right? That's my point.
That's true. Okay,
It's a card that you have to specifically. First of all, the deck has to be a match for this card.
Mm-hmm.
A deck that would like to play different card types and do it enough to trigger this card.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm very unconvinced by this card, but maybe I'm wrong. This will be my wrong card.
Right.
And
So
I'm keeping this at 1.
Yeah, admittedly, and this is a fair point, and maybe it goes a little farther down because of this. If this card wasn't unique, it would be a 4 for sure. Because the ability to make token copies of it would raise its impact way higher. I think.
Sure.
Right?
It would be a 6. Yeah.
You
know what else would make it a 6? If it did not say banish this card. Imagine. Then it would actually be a good card. I would play it.
I mean, well, yeah, doesn't that have the
And you just keep playing them in one turn.
Heartfelt Apology would just work with it then, right?
I don't know, but a lot of things would work with it because if you keep recursing them, it's just you gain 4 AT. It's a huge turnout for one cycle. And you draw 4 cards. Like, it's just all around amazing if it doesn't banish itself. That's why it banishes itself. But I think the fact that without banishing itself, it would be really, really good, amazingly good. But with banishing itself, it's very specific.
Right. What I'm seeing here is an effect that's really, really good. Right? And there have been guardrails so good that there have been guardrails put upon it, making it unique, making it vanish itself. Right?
Sure. As it happens with a lot of cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, maybe this is getting meta, but like I'm wondering if the design process was, they put guardrails on it until they couldn't think of a way to break it.
There's still ways to break it. You could use the Chrysalis that copies abilities. It banishes it from the discard pile. But then you can have 2 of them. I don't know if that does something, but you can have 2 of them. Or teamwork.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I've thrown myself into the ring as saying I guess I have to be the guy to prove it.
So you're gonna play it.
Probably isn't gonna work out well, but I've lowered my rating to a 3.
Sure, I remain at 1. I do not.
Okay.
It's a cool card, but like,
okay,
it's not a meta card, not in my view.
Fair enough.
Beagle says it's busted in Chaos Farm, so there you go. You have some foundation.
All right. I have something. Beagle doesn't play like meta decks, so that's fine.
Beagle makes meta decks.
Yeah, that's the truth. Okay, you take this one.
Are you saying I should do it? How about me?
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. It's a Trixie card, so it gets a 5.
Right. Oh, -6 from Bugle.
Well, Bugle is always wrong, so.
Yeah. How about you? Cost 1, 5, power, showdown. Just read this quickly. It's tricky text. Start a face-off involving one of your characters or troublemakers, an opposing character or troublemaker. Winner turns an opposing character or troublemaker involved in the face-off over. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. I assume this works, and I'm just silly, stupid. Card text is read from the perspective of the owner of the effect or the person who's
with the controller.
Right. So, like, opposing always means the opponent. Like, it doesn't mean always the opposing.
Well, in this context, the opposing character means the opposing character of the winner, because the context is the winner.
Okay. Yeah, I assume that.
Like it says, the winner turns an opposing character.
Sure.
But I see where ambiguity lies.
Okay.
One could reasonably interpret that as, opposing means opposing to whoever played this.
Yeah. Anyway, that's how everyone assumed it worked, and I'm sure that's how it does. So, this card does a lot of things. This is like, I've also put this as a 4, and it's like it's for the same reason as the last one, even though I can't point to a particular deck that necessarily wants to do anything with it. Mostly just because it's early in the morning, and I haven't I haven't thought about it yet. Like, I know we were at HithCon and people talked about how any deck wants to do stuff with this. Yes.
Yeah, like the previous card. Like in the previous card, it's a struggle to come up with a deck that would want to use this. And this card, it's the opposite.
Yes. What I meant is I didn't put effort into thinking about it.
Okay.
But yes, this card does so many different things. It's honestly bonkers. And like yeah, I like for what it's worth, I will applaud incredible card design, Sam. This is Interdimensional Portal version 2.
So if it was not Trixie, I would give this card a 4. I don't think it's particularly like a
No.
meta defining, but it's a really good card, and I think a lot of decks will make use of it. Not every deck, but a lot of decks, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just incredibly versatile. There's
Yeah,
so many different things you can do with it.
yeah. Like at the bare minimum, it is a Frighten. And yes, there's like the face off, and you might not win it, and it's gonna be worse against like if you're playing, I don't know, like Thorax, right? And well, no, Thorax is a bad example. You're playing some yellow deck that is not Thorax, and then you're against like Farm or something. It's likely you're gonna lose the face off.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like in a lot of other cases, you can like you're just not gonna play that card. Then you play something else.
Yep.
But like in cases where you can reasonably
Well,
win the face off, you can.
even in situations where you can surmise that you're probably going to lose the face off, you just choose things such that works out to your advantage.
It's rare that you losing the face off with this card would be to your advantage for a lot of decks. Some decks would like that. Like decks that have troublemakers, right?
Hmm.
And you choose your troublemaker versus opposing character. If you win, you frighten their character effectively, pretty good, or flip their main. Or if you lose, your troublemaker is turned around, which is also really good if it has like a villain, if it's a villain or something.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why this card is a 4 and not a 5, because I think it's not applicable to every situation in every deck. Like it's just not an older run card in every deck.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of decks will make use of it, and like at least I think Farm runs this card, and we know Pancake plays Farm, so that's a safe 4.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no like one thing that I can point to say in core at least that I can say, wow, that's ridiculously busted that you can do that with this card. But there are so many things you can do that are like, oh, that's something that deck would want to do. Yeah. We're gonna
Yeah.
see it all over the place.
Beagle mentions Solano. Yeah, this card is really good for Solano because I think, yeah, you win-win no matter who wins the face-off. And I think like the decks that benefit from either winning or losing in this face-off, like doesn't matter. Those are the decks that are gonna run this card. So yeah, really good card and really good art.
Mm-hmm.
It's an iconic Trixie shot.
It's good. Good that we have it finally. Yeah. All right. Consolation prize. This is the first prize build 3 card we ever saw. I'm pretty sure. Cost 2, 5 power. Unique. Goes on your main character. At the end of a face-off involving that character, put one of your flipped cards into your hand. If you lost that face-off, put each of your flip cards into your hand instead. And at immediate speed during a face-off, exhaust discard to flip an additional card.
Pancake's gonna run it, so it's a 4. Next.
But is Pancake gonna have a top deck?
Yes.
He usually does. It's true.
It always does. Yes.
Never bet against Farm.
Every time. Oh, Farm is so awful in this meta. And then it's like top 2.
Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Close the top. That's why I said top 2.
Top 2. Yeah. Fair enough.
Hey, I mean, this the reason this card exists is because Pancake was close to the top.
Man, that's a D. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean the math is kind of hard to ignore, isn't it? So
But like
okay,
the card is also good.
yes, the card is very like yes, it's great for farm. Um, it is honestly it's great for lots of decks. Frankly, I mean 2 cost for extra flips that obviously doesn't appeal to all decks.
Well, it's not just extra flips. You can see it as extra draws as well, right? Because you get the cards you flip.
Yeah.
So if you lose, this card guarantees you 2 cards into your hand.
Well, so it's that's only if your main character is involved in the face-off,
Sure.
which for most aggro decks will be the case. For most control decks, not. Not that control decks need
But if
card
you
draw.
play Seleno with How About You? Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm. And actually, that's not even necessarily true for most aggro decks. Nurturing Nature is usually not going to be involved in face-offs.
Yeah. But Thorax tries to.
Thorax loves to be, yes. Yeah. And Thorax cares a bit about card draw. Doesn't care as much about extra flips. Like it's got it definitely has many different possible homes. At least one of which is virtually guaranteed to be very good. And so, yeah, as we said, we are pigeonholed by our own math and pancake using this card.
But yeah, it is a good card. Maybe the farm will be insane with it.
I don't know if can farm ever win by being really good.
That never happened before.
Farm wins
Farm never
because
won
people
by being really good.
don't tech against it.
Applejack.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah,
Something in my throat from
but
many years ago.
that's not happening again.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, next card. I don't know
Fluttershy.
if I said my rating for Constellation Prize, but it was a 4.
You said it was like the first thing you said.
Oh
It
yeah,
was a
that's
4.
right.
Yeah.
I already forgot.
Um, Cost 1, 3 yellow requirement, 5 power. Goes to your home. When one or more of your friends enters play, put a -1 power counter on this card. When an opposing friend enters play, move a -1 power counter from this card onto that friend.
So this card has an amazing synergy with Claude
Hmm.
for being a 0 power friend that does nothing in a lot of cases.
Hmm.
But it's also a good card.
This is a really good card, I think. I'm really on the fence between 3 and 4.
Oh, I gave this a 4.
Like I
Actually,
think
never mind. I gave this a 3, but maybe I'll change it to 4. Claude, yes.
I think this goes in Thorax probably and becomes the card that just says it is impossible for another aggro deck to beat me. Not that he was really that concerned about that, but
It's what was that card name? I forget. That's right. It's kind of like this card is kind of like Treehouse of Harmony,
yeah.
except smaller and not as expensive and single color. And by that I mean if you play a lot of creatures, you just give all of your opposing friends -1 power.
Hmm. Yeah.
And unlike Treehouse, if this card gets removed, those friends are still -1 power.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really good if you play a lot of stuff and put a lot of tokens,
Hmm.
but yellow does that, so I think this card is pretty good.
Yeah. Notably, yellow tends to have, at least in the way that it's built right now, a lot of its tokens enter play together, which would only be one trigger. This
Yeah.
kind of incentivizes you to split up your triggers a little bit, which, like, funnily enough, it makes you shine really good. because she has that one critter that comes into play when you win a face-off. Yeah, so it's not just Thorax. It's also like blue yellow. I think is also extremely good with this.
Yeah.
When a card no, that's how that works. Yeah, when a card gets played, then as a trigger causes something else to come into play. That's two.
That's different, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're thinking of Furble that puts Critter into play when you play it. That's two different friends entering play.
Yeah.
Not at the same time.
Yeah. So that's really good. Yeah. And yeah, you are effectively giving all your opponent's stuff -1 power for the whole game. That is so hard for another aggro deck to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, in my notes here, I gave this a 3, but I didn't know. I don't know why I wrote 3. I think it's a 4, but maybe it's a 3. 3.5?
Like, yeah, it's like I said, I'm on the fence there too, because the problem is like yes, it's good, but like does Thorax actually need that? He's already like at top of the pile for aggro decks anyway, so that would be the mark against it.
Yeah. So, final rating.
I gave it a 4, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay, just so we're split, I'll do a 3.
Okay, we're not allowed to.
There
agree.
we go. The average is 3.5. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay, next card.
Okay. The Staff of Sameness. 2 cost 3 purple 5 power goes to your home. At the start of a player's turn, you may exhaust this card to choose a player and a problem. Till the end of the turn, that player's confront requirements for all other problems are equal to that player's confront requirements for the chosen problem. The classic
That's a lot of words.
purple SR does something so weird that it's really hard to rate. But yes, that's a lot of words. So I'm going to do something a bit out of character here. I'm going to bet against purple aggro.
Oh.
And give this card a fairly low rating of just 2. Really cool.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is like betting on problems is so hard. Like there are certainly good situations, but it's so hard to ensure that you have the right problems in play.
But it's not just an aggro resource, right?
It's not.
It goes into control as well.
It is good for control as well. Yes.
Because if your opponent has like a hard confront requirement, like on the other side, it's especially if it requires not a color, you can just choose that problem and make their life so much more complicated.
Yeah.
And like if they play a dilemma, it still has that requirement. So, like I think I can see this card kind of being played in aggro, maybe, but at the same time, I think it's easier to use in control. I don't know. It's hard, but anyway, I gave this card a 2 as well. Like, I'm thinking of possible applications here, but I just don't think either of those are like gonna be really in the meta or anything.
Yeah, like if you have a problem deck that's entirely, well, relatively big.
All problems deck are 10 cards.
Yeah. Then you can, like, it is a very powerful effect to use on your opponent's turn. Yes.
Well, it depends.
My invitational deck would run this. I've already forgotten which deck you're referring to, Google. Was that the not the blue and purple, obviously, because that's adventure.
Or maybe he means the adventure.
Tempest blue orange. Ah. Hmm. Oh, right. That was just a straight up control deck. All right. That's fair. Like
I
it
think,
is.
like, again, I think in control this card is fairly nice actually, and it also debuffs dilemmas, which
Yeah. The dilemma thing is pretty important, frankly. Yes.
well, it debuffs dilemmas depending on what your opponent runs. Like if they have concerning cutie mark, then I mean I guess you choose your own problem, but
Yeah.
then it's just a higher confront. That's not as fun
I mean,
as having like a color requirement.
it's
But still,
it's it's not as fun, but like still 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. That's
yeah.
dilemmas are a lot less interesting when they have that much to confront.
Yeah. And I mean, it works both ways. Like if you need to clear out the board real quick, you can like you it works both on your opponents and your turn. It's not
It
like you choose one of them.
right.
It's
It
just
well,
triggers every turn.
it works on your opponents and your turn so long as you do it on your opponent's turn first, because it does exhaust itself. You can't do it on your turn,
Yes.
then on your opponent's turn.
Yes. But like you can choose to do that, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I still think it's a 2. Maybe it should even be a 1. I'm like in between those two numbers because just purple is pretty sad.
Hmm.
Oh, it's not unique. That's fun. You have two of them and then you choose two different problems.
Wait.
I think the way it works is by timestamp. The
Oh,
latest one
sure,
will.
sure. I guess. Hmm.
But it is funny.
It is
But
funny.
if you have two of them, you can use them
Yeah,
always
you
on
can.
yours and your opponent's turn.
That's a good point. Yeah. I don't like. I don't think a deck would ever run 3 of these. So like it's 2 of them is the maximum probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess if you're playing purple white, you're probably copying
I
stuff.
think, yeah, I think like even if this card was, sorry, if purple was like very prominent, well, for control, purple aggro is its own world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but I like this card. It's a cool card.
It is a cool card. We said it in the preview, I think, and we'll say it again. Please print more cards like this.
More wacky cards.
More cool super rares. Yeah. Which I mean, I guess we have a full set coming, which will have super rares in it. So probably get more of that.
I hope so.
Okay. Ms. Harshwini, troublemaker of 5 power and 3 points. When this card is uncovered, replace each problem.
It would be interesting to actually score 3 points off of this card.
I mean, that's
Either your opponent did something really bad and they played it face up, or you use that blue card that just defeats the face down troublemaker.
mm-hmm. Yeah. It's almost never going to happen that
Yeah.
you'll get the 3
This
points.
card has like a shadow of Fire Than Ready.
Kind of. Yeah. But as a 1 cost replace the problems bit of tech, not
So,
I was gonna say
yeah,
not bad.
yeah, but also when do you want to replace the problems?
If you're an aggro deck and there's a bunch of troublemakers out.
Mm-hmm. And those troublemakers are usually epic.
No. The opponent is confronting somewhere, probably.
Unless they're playing a farm deck.
I mean, yes. Farm, yes. But I said control.
Oh, control, sure. Free cherry berries. Even control plays epic troublemakers, but yes, sure. This card is good versus control, which is kind of sad for me as a
That
control
is
player.
kind of sad, isn't it, when you think about it? Is this card
Yeah,
low just because there won't be any control decks?
yeah. Maybe it is like Middlebrook after all, but
But
against farm it's really really bad actually. And I think the main application other than control to replace problems is farm, right? Because replacing problems versus farm is really really good.
yes, that is generally the
Uh,
case. Yeah.
because you move their stuff home, you get rid of the troublemaker, and this card just doesn't work. Just doesn't work in that case.
It doesn't like so. If farm removes the troublemaker, there is going to be a window where your troublemakers can uncover.
Yeah, but then you're removing what another troublemaker is another problem.
Yeah, and replacing the
Mm.
problems.
Also, no, if farm like if in that window they probably play another troublemaker, which will uncover before Harshwing.
No, no, it
So
won't.
the only yes, because well, yeah, sure, yeah, you're right. If you play it in advance, yes.
Yeah.
And then she uncovers, and then like it's kind of average. You replace both problems, you get rid of like one of the troublemakers, and they played another one, so another one will uncover anyway.
I mean,
It's
one cost dismiss an epic is not that bad.
yeah, but also move all of the stuff home, including yours. Assuming you're playing some like I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
think that versus farm it's a good card.
admittedly, it's not. Yeah, it's not as
Yeah,
clear cut amazing.
yeah. But I guess versus control, yes, it is a good tech card.
Right. Like I mean, I was thinking of because
Troublemaker control specifically.
I compare this card with Winterzilla pretty clearly. It is a troublemaker that is designed to do a thing that's not what troublemakers do, right? And that card
Sure.
sees play in decks that have no other way to deal with resources.
Okay, yeah, but Winterzilla is like resource removal and problem replacement are like two different things. I don't think you can compare.
Yes, they are different things, but they're things that. Okay, I guess resource removal is broadly useful, and problem replacement is not necessarily broadly useful, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Let's see what I gave this card. I gave this card. It's 35. I gave this card a 2.
Okay. You've been very down on this prize wheel supplement in general.
Maybe.
Like I remember how in the past we used to like not give any of these cards twos and ones. But I suppose this one is more of a kind of weird cards prize wheel and less of a tailored to the meta thing. So maybe that's right.
This card is 1 because it makes control weaker, and I play control. But
So
like,
go ahead.
is Troublemaker control really in the meta?
It's not.
And if your answer is not yes, then is this card really applicable in other scenarios?
I mean, I it depends on applicable. I think I would, if I had a deck that was just terrible against farm, I would at least try this.
Okay.
Who knows?
What deck? What deck are you thinking of?
Hmm. So my two, like, Thorax is not bad against farm. Cadence
Thorax is
is
one of the more equipped. Cadence has its pink, which
is
has its own problem replacement that's better than this one against farm.
yeah.
Like Discord or Bait and Switch, even though
Mm-hmm.
Bait and Switch has not seen play in a long time.
Well, I mean, because bait and switch doesn't go in cadence; it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Um,
And this Troublemaker does?
I mean, it's cheap. You can play it anytime.
It's not a friend though.
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. You've argued me down to a 2.
I was not trying to sway your opinion, but I was just explaining my 2.
I've already covered Grandpa's the fact that I'm not betting on purple aggro this time.
It would be funny if like this is the time when you don't bet on
Oh,
purple aggro,
I know, I know.
and this is the time when you would be wrong.
Maybe that's my game.
Oh, that makes sense. Like, yeah. Like it's a win-win scenario. You're either right or you're wrong, but you're also like that purple aggro is good.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's why you're betting against control, right?
All right.
All right.
You want to go to the next card?
Next card, our Vanhoover Pony Expo card. The one card we hadn't talked about in that preview, although we talked about it from the PPE review.
This could have been a Trixie, so it's a 1. Go ahead.
This is true. Cumbersome Couch. 1 bonus. 8 for the opponent, 3 yellow, 3 not yellow for you. One of your resources would leave play. We send one of your characters at this problem home instead. Yellow control. Kind of, right? Slower yellow deck. Isn't really a thing that exists right now. Right?
Yeah. But why are you thinking control?
Well, I mean, it's a
high requirements.
It's high requirements. Thorax can't do this because of the requirement for non-yellow. So you like it doesn't like that is the yellow deck that doesn't care about high requirements, and this doesn't apply there. So
that's true.
That's what I'm thinking. And the text, the low bonus, and the text are all. So the text is something that you want to stay in play if you want to take advantage of it.
Yes.
So
I mean, otherwise, if this text was not on a problem, be so good.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So anyway, yeah. All of that says this is for slower yellow decks. And slower yellow decks, to my knowledge. Okay, sorry, wait a second. I will acknowledge Zipper will, but other than that, to my knowledge, haven't really ever been a thing.
Hey, there's yellow-white control somewhere out there, probably.
Probably.
Maybe we will get bedtime next set. But that's next set.
Spent our time wishing Hello Luna Farm. That's true. She wants
But
to play
does
this,
Farm
though?
want to send characters home? Like, what kind of resource would you protect? I guess a stick. Is stick worth it? Probably.
Kind of. Yeah. But the problem is Yuna doesn't have lots of. Well, I don't remember. Does she have lots of characters or not? She does, because she needs 3s and 2s, right?
Yeah.
So you might be able to.
But like, even if you send your main, I'm considering a situation where you send your main character home.
Right. I guess, yeah, if it's to protect a stick or a constellation prize or a spooky ruins or whatever,
like, and then
it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, because the opponent only has so much resource removal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if I was the opponent, I would just, unless I had no other option, I'd probably not even try to remove a resource with this in play, unless like, oh, I have to stop them from doing the face off like now.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if it's immediate speed resource removal in the middle of a face off, like at this problem, that's actually kind of interesting.
But that's actually what I was thinking with the farm, right? It's not just Yellow Luna farm, like other farm decks can run this. They don't have to confront this problem. They don't care it's yellow.
I mean, yeah. Don't farm decks have reasonable problem decks that they can confront though?
Yeah,
Like,
but not always.
I don't know. Like, if you're gonna put a problem in your deck that you can't confront, it better have a really good reason to be there.
Is saving your resources a good reason? Not a good reason?
I mean, it's not a bad reason, I suppose. I don't know if it's like on the level of blackmail though.
Oh no, absolutely no. Like, I'll just say it. I have this card as a 2, so I'm not like arguing for high ranks here.
Right. You
But
are
I think
arguing for
it's
a higher rating than me. I'll tell you that much.
yeah. I'm arguing for 2 instead of 1. I guess yes.
Okay. Because yes, I have this as a 1. Like, so
But it
low.
should be a 1 because it could have been a Trixie. But like, yeah, I really like this card either way, and maybe some combo decks will use it too.
It is, like, next set will happen. And I mean, we had that big conversation about how all the cool yellow aggro stuff is rotating out.
It's
So,
not blackmail, says Bugle. Like, yeah. We don't want every problem to be blackmail. Well, I do, but not everybody wants every problem to be blackmail.
it is
We,
it is a good thing that not every problem is blackmail. Say that much.
it's funny that I think alternative solution is as good as blackmail, but it is the one you actually need to confront. Otherwise, it's really bad.
I mean, yeah. That is like, I say that's good design right there.
Blackmail is the bar. It's the bar in adventure, not in core. Anyway,
Ending off with an easy one.
yeah.
Foolish argument. Card enters play with 3 discord counters on it. Immediate speed, remove a discord counter from this card to choose 1. Players need +2 to confront this problem this turn. Players need -2 to confront this problem this turn. Or increase this problem's bonus by 1 this turn. At base, bonus 0.7 for everybody, and it's a 5.
Slaps this text box. This can hold so much text in it.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a 5. I did not even had to think too much about it. I just like, oh yeah, 5.
Yeah. It's
uh,
this goes in everything, right?
yeah, this card is very too versatile even.
Perhaps.
If you need to do a face-off, you can lower the requirement. Or if you want to be greedy like me, you don't touch the problem until you do a double face-off, and then you get the free bonus.
Yeah. If you have any Discord counters remaining and you're winning the face-off, yeah, points, please. Well, provided that you may as well use them. Why not? But yeah.
And control probably runs this problem because it's a 0 bonus high confront requirement, and can be even higher confront requirement if needed. It's just, I don't know what deck doesn't run this problem. A combo deck doesn't run this problem. There we go. I found the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not.
And farm probably doesn't run this problem.
Farm may not run this problem. That's fair. I mean, it's not bad, but there are probably better.
I think there are better options for farm. Yes, it does. Beagle says it does. So maybe I'm wrong. It's 13.
It is a 13 once. Wait. I think the chat might have just lagged a bit.
Yeah. Or maybe Bugle is being funny. Okay, you know what? I'll do this.
Oh. Why not? Um,
And like, I really like this card. It's clearly a very powerful card, and that's why it's a 5. It's I don't usually give 5 rating, but this is one of the cards that gets it because I think it is a meta defining card. And I do like it a lot, and I do like it that I can run it in a lot of decks.
oh, I see.
I see.
Hmm. I mean, that's reasonable, actually. That is. The combo answer is actually pretty reasonable. Yeah.
Sure. It doesn't matter. A lot of decks run this card.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It just it is whatever you need it to be, whenever you need it to be it. Great.
It's a wild card, basically, yeah. I'm personally terrified of bonus free. Like if this comes up and you can not do anything about it, it's just sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be there as a 3 bonus problem.
Like you have to double face off it, right? Otherwise, if you don't, your opponent can just hold on to like even if you confront it, like so what? Uh like you need to force your opponent to spend the counters.
Yep.
Otherwise they're gonna keep them to get the free bonus. And
Mm-hmm.
which is why this card is terrifying.
Yep. There's
And there's no way to force your opponent to spend the counters unless you double face off. Because if you just confront this problem, like, or single face off, I guess, at this problem. Because if you're just confronting this, like, yeah, who cares?
yeah, exactly, right? They'll just hold on to it, and then I will double face off on my turn. Take the points.
Yeah.
Although the single face off tricks are there as well. Yes. Reducing it down to a 5 to allow your opponent to confront it, and then take a 2 bonus single face off. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Now.
Now.
Oh no, never mind. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then I would take us to the end of our. That is the end of the mini set.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. It was mostly like as I said that there were a couple of 2s and 1s, which is a bit unusual for the prize wheels. But as we said, yeah, there's just a lot of more interesting kind of weirdish designs in here.
Do you know what your average rating is?
Uh, I mean, it's not that many numbers. I can probably just fire up a calculator here. This is on stream, but whatever.
Wow. Mine is pretty low.
Whoops.
2.8.
Mine's lower than you. 2.3.
Oh, wow. You're really low then, yeah. That's a big difference. Did you divide by 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me make
Just
sure.
making
Let me
sure.
let me do this again. Wait, I screwed something up. 5, 10, 13, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30, 32, 33. Yeah, that should be 38 divided by 12, not 28 divided by 12.
Okay.
Yes.
That's still lower than me, though.
No, well, no, because my number it comes out to 3.1 then.
Wait, 30 divided by 12?
38 divided by 12.
Oh, 38. Yes, I have 34. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, that makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense now. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if that's our lowest average rating or anything, but there's a lot of good cards in here too.
Like among full sets, I'd have to look again, but usually our average ratings come around in like the 2.5 area. Because full sets tend to have a lot of junk in them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I'm talking about prize wheels.
Yeah, in the prize wheels, I think this is probably lower than we've been for most of them. But yeah, speaking of, we probably do have a proper set review coming up this year.
Oh no.
Look forward
On
to that.
another 8 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's been many years since we've had to do
It
this.
has been a while. Yeah.
But yeah, if I had to guess, it's not gonna be here for a while.
Probably not for a little while, at least.
If I had to guess, not until after Continentals, whenever that is.
I mean, yeah, that would be release at Continentals is how things go, or just after Continentals. Yep.
All right.
All right. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming out and sharing thoughts with us. These mini set reviews are always super fun. That is going to be our stream for today. If there's anything else to say, really, we have probably 2 weeks from now, which will be the 16th, right before BabsCon. I guess we'll be talking about the spoilers that we have. Maybe more of them if some more get released, but at least those cards.
Yeah. And after that, it's gonna be BabsCon weekend. So
After that BabsCon review, yeah.
no, not review. Well, yes, review,
right.
but like
Right. It'll be that weekend, yeah. Are you going to BabsCon?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we won't be streaming that weekend.
No. But aren't you also like doing family stuff? So
usually I will be, yes.
it was never meant to happen anyway.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I guess, yeah, there'll be that, and then probably April is when we'll, yeah. But anyway, again, I will say thank you to everyone. I'll say thank you, Hisrock, for joining me today. And I think
thank you.
we will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Bye.